All right. Welcome to SideboardMTG. My name's Eric, and we're going to play some more Golgari Elves in Modern. Got a sweet little deck for you guys. This one was built by me, so you will not find this 75 anywhere else. I think it's in a good spot. So we're going to have some fun with it. Hope you guys like it. If you do, give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be trying to do at least 7-8 streams a week, so we're going to have some midday streams, and we're going to still have our nightly show. So make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out. Alright guys, what's up everyone? How's everybody doing? Everybody having a good day? Good weekend, right? We've got Subscriber Sunday coming up later this evening. I have yet to even pull those decks, so if you want to go vote and have a little bit of input on how those decks or what decks we're going to run, you can do that. I have not chosen to go with the Mass Lords theme with this deck. Instead, I want good mana production. I want good consistency. So I'm running cards like Elvish Visionary, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. We are still running Shaman of the Pack because we are in black, and that's kind of one of the main reasons to be in black. I've got some other cool stuff in the sideboard that's going to make use of that black mana. But, yeah, I am running Shaman of the Pack, and then I built this deck for one of our community members here, Rush. He may or may not like this deck because it is about $700. I did not spare anything hey, I spelled Golgari right. I looked it up. I cheated, K-Dog. No, it was, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this deck's not cheap, guys. I, again, spared no expense on it. I mean, we're looking at $85 a piece for our 3 Caverns of Souls. Now, if you chose to run a Court of Calling version of this deck, the first thing I would do is I would remove 1 Cavern of Souls, and then, of course, you would put your Court of Callings in here for Driven to Despair. One of the things Rush wanted to play with more than anything else was he wanted Driven to Despair Elves. I do not think this is a modern-worthy card, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to see what happens, and I was still spelling it right the first time that I tried to spell it. Oh, okay. Well, cool. Well, thank you. So we do have 33 creatures in the deck, which means that 50% of the cards that we see should be able to be hit off of our collected company. That gives us kind of 3 cards to kind of play with, to pull out, add some more non-creature spells in the deck. So let's talk about the mana base here really quick. We've got 7 Forest. We've got 3 Cavern of Souls, which is the bulk of the price of this deck. Not gonna lie, Cavern of Souls is no joke. I do have a pet card in here, and some of you guys will like it, and some of you guys will not. If you wanted to run Pendlehaven, then that would be feasible as well. And if you didn't want to run the Overgrown Tombs Verdant Catacombs version, there's the Glint, not Glint, but Glitleaf Palace or something like that, and you could run that as well. There's a couple other versions you could do with the the mana, and if you wanted to run Blooming Marsh, that would be okay. I'm not real big on Blooming Marsh, but this is a turns 1, 2, and 3 is when you need everything to go off. So anything coming in tapped after that is normally acceptable. So this is the route I'm going to take with it. I wanted the aspect of thinning. Thinning's not going to help a ton, but we are a Coco deck. So whenever we can thin, we're increasing the odds of our Coco firing off. And yeah, so I did go with the Verdant Catacombs. I also went with the Overgrown Tombs, and that is the only black mana in our deck, is the Overgrown Tombs, to be able to cast our Shaman of the Pack or our Driven to Despair. So that is something we're going to kind of have to hit. But again, we're going to be able to thin our deck just a little bit there. Now, my pet land here, Oran Reef the Vastwood, and this is one of the only pet cards I put in the deck. There, you'll see one more that I just love to run in Elves, and I'll talk about that when we get to the 1-drops. But for those of you that don't know, Ornreef the Vastwood, it does enter the battlefield tapped, so that's something that I'm worried about. It is the only land in the deck that is forced to enter the battlefield tapped. We can always pay 2 life to have our Overgrown Tombs enter the battlefield untapped. But Ornreef the Vastwood does enter tap, and that is why a lot of people will not play it. It is very, very risky to run a land that does enter the battlefield tap when turn 1, 2, and 3 are so important, and a lot of times you're going to play 1, maybe 2 land hands. So Ornreef the Vastwood could become detrimental, and some of you may or may not want to run this. So no, we're running Subscriber Sunday later tonight. This is just a midday stream. I wanted to get this out yesterday. We were having internet problems, and I tell you, when you have no internet for like 24 hours, oh, you realize just how dependent on it you are. It gets bad, gets bad. What's up, Clyde? How you doing? Hey, Eric, you've been lurking for a while. Glad to catch a stream. Finally posted a couple of decks on the Reddit. Check them out. Your local... you do it like I do. Local LGS. It's redundancy. Your LGS just closed, so it's awesome to have somewhere to talk Magic. Well, that's what happened to me. I got displaced from my LGS, so I am trying to be a LGS online for people to hang out, be part of the community, talk Magic, things like that. So, Clyde, this is exactly where you need to be, man, and thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So we're going to talk about these 1-drops here, right? Now, most of the 1-drops are straightforward. We've got 4 Elvish Mystics. We've got 4 Llanowar Elves. I did choose the new art on Llanowar Elves. I think that the new art's probably one of the prettiest arts, or, best looking art, however you want to say it. Does that mean you got banned? No. See, I moved from Phoenix, Arizona, where I had, people like For the Horde was a member of my my LGS there, ManaWorks. If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, ManaWorks is one of the best places to go play. No lie. Like, seriously, I played at a lot of the shops there. Snapcasters is good, Player Draw is great, but ManaWorks is key, man. Like, ManaWorks is a shop. It's not a Magic store. They don't have absolutely every card that you can buy, but they have a great community. We're talking, 40, 50 people at a F&M, 5, 6 rounds every F&M. You get really good practice for, your PPTQs and things like that. There's groups of people there that travel to the different PPTQs, stuff like that. So if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, hit up ManaWorks. They're great. Tell them Kilo sent you, right? Anyway. I am running 4 Llanowar Elves and 4 Elvish Mystics as our turn 1 dorks. We also have 4 copies of Heritage Druid. This works really, really well with our 2-drop Dwynen's Elite. And then we've got 3 copies of Nettle Sentinel. Now, I'm not actually big on Nettle Sentinel. I don't really like this card. It does things, but you've kind of already got to have basically the whole world going for you before you can, really make use of Nettle Sentinel. The best part about Nettle Sentinel is a 1-mana 2/2. Yeah, you get to do that untapping thing, all this other stuff. Works really good with a Heritage Druid. But at that point, if you've got that many, elves on the battlefield, things like that, you're gonna run into like you're already winning, So I did cut one of the Nettle Sentinels. I'm not running a full play set. And let's get to the 2-drops. Madness, you said it. So anyone else gonna point out that there's no clan callers? I don't like the card. I don't like there's no clan callers. There's no impervious, imperilous, perfect. There's no champion. Okay, this is not Merfolk. I am not trying to play 12 Lords. What I am trying to do here is I am trying to play an Elf deck. And I believe that Elves should be played more like this than played as, hey, I'm going to drop a Lord, I'm going to drop another Lord, I'm going to drop another Lord. But I do need to point out my pet card here. 1 copy of Jiraga Warcaller. This is a multi-kicker card. It's 1 mana, but you're not wanting to play it for 1 mana, okay? You're wanting to play this for as much mana as absolutely possible because of that multi-kicker. Jiraga Warcaller is going to enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each time it was kicked. Okay, and this works really well with our Ornreef the Basswood because you can technically get an extra kicker off of Draga Warcaller for just the 1 mana. Okay, so you don't have to pay 2 mana if you've got your Ornreef the Basswood untapped. Your Draga Warcaller will get an additional +1/+1 counter on it because you tapped your Ornreef the Basswood. Then other elves you control get +1/+1 for each 1/1 counter on Draga Warcaller. So being able to, get that extra 1/1 counter, or just have a plethora of mana so that you can just dump in the Draga Warcaller, you can actually pump your dudes for a ton of mana. And then moving on, to the rest of our 2-drops here, I'm running Elvish Visionary. I would personally rather just draw a couple more cards. I think that it increases the consistency of the deck a little bit, and you guys may or may not agree to that, but I do like my Elvish Visionary. I do like the chance to just draw an additional card. I mean, you may draw an additional Collected Company or Lead the Stampede. We do have 8 non-creature spells in the deck, and those start with Lead the Stampede as a 2 of, and Collected Company as a 4 of, and then again the 2 Driven to Despair. Again, if you don't want to run Driven to Despair, run Court of Calling. If you run the Court of Calling, save yourself $85. Go ahead and drop 1 Cavern and run Court of Calling. And I would highly recommend that you just add another forest into the deck. Court of Calling does require 3 green mana, and sometimes green can be a little bit hard to cast if you're playing with a lot of cards like Cavern of Souls. Now, if you don't have 3 Cavern of Souls, my recommendation is to maybe play around with a Nykthos, that legendary land that will give you mana equal to your devotion to a color. So that's where you can go if you don't have your Cavern of Souls. You might want to try one of those. And then of course, if you don't have any Cavern of Souls, I highly recommend that you at least run the new land that's really cheap. Works as a mana of any color as long as you call that creature type, but it's not going to stop them from being countered. Now, moving on up to the rest of the 3 drops, we've got 1 Reclamation Sage, and again, if you're running Court of Calling, that'll allow you to go grab this as like that toolbox, and it just goes straight to the battlefield. Now, you're not going to be able to get your multi-kickers and things like that with Draga Warcaller, but just having that 1 Reclamation Sage works really, really well. And then, of course, we are running 4 copies of Elvish Archdruid. And, one of probably the best elf lord that has been printed. Just because the more elves you have, the more mana you have. It allows you to tap on your mana to play a bunch of 1-drops, things like that. And then those are kind of free because then you'll tap the Elvish Archdruid. So neutral mana when you do things like that. Elvish Archdruid is terrific, and again, the only lord in the deck. Of course, I could not run this without Uzuri. You guys might have noticed the artwork there, right? Uzuri, he's awesome. This is the whole point of elves for me. I've got 2 copies of Uzuri in here. I really wanted 3, but the deck is really, really tight, and I think that we can get away with just 2 copies. Again, if you had Court of Calling, that's going to make this much, much smoother. You can just go search up your Uzuri at the end of their turn, and then you have all of your mana untapped for your Uzuri Overkill, and Uzuri's overrun ability is absolutely terrific. You can play it, you can activate it multiple times on a single turn, giving your guys +3/+3 and trample. That works absolutely terrific. And then, of course, we have 3 copies of Shaman of the Pack. Now, because we don't actually have that many ways to cast Shaman of the Pack, Blood Moon's a thing, things like that, I'm not really wanting to run all 4 of these, but I did want to run enough of them that I've got a good chance at Cocoing into one if we do hit it, or if we need it or something like that. It can be really great. Plus, it's a 3 mana 3/2, so that works really well. And then, of course, I'm running 2 pet cards of mine, and I'm running 2 pet cards for Rush, which Rush is kind of the whole reason I made this deck. I wanted to build my version of elves, how I would play elves. He went with the more lord-based elf deck. And I wanted to run more of the Elf Ball combo deck, Coco Elves, that sort of thing. So Driven to Despair is actually, you know, it's a good card. Again, I think that this should just probably be more Lead the Stampedes, or should be, you know, Court of Calling. But that is, you know, choices that you guys are going to make. If you want it or don't want it, we're going to see how good it is here today. We're going to kind of, you know, check that out. And then, you know, for those of you that don't know this card, you pay 1 green, 1 colorless. Until end of turn, creatures you control have trample. So we are going to get that trample on them. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. And then if you cast the other side of it, Despair, from your graveyard, until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace. And when this creature deals combat damage to your to a player, that player is going to discard a card. So kind of giving you some card advantage, giving your opponent some negative card advantage there, you know, or card disadvantage, I guess. So yeah. What you got there, Jack? You're going to guess red was for Bloodbraid Elf and Bolt. Well, yeah, probably if somebody was running green red elves. All right, getting to my sideboard here. I am trying to just be very versatile in my sideboard. I don't know a ton about Modern, so I don't know exactly where I want to go with all of, you know, what decks I want to fight against. So I try to make my sideboard as versatile as possible. We had Tormod's Crypt in the version we ran the other day, and I personally want to go with Nihil Spellbomb. Nihil Spellbomb will allow us to use that black mana and maybe draw an additional card. It does cost 1 mana. It's not free, but it does give us that chance to have a little bit more card advantage. So I'm going to take the risk and, you know, not run the 0 mana Tormod's Crypt, but run the Nihil Spellbomb. So we do have that chance to draw the additional card. And plus, you can always just pay 1, play it, sack it, you know, get rid of target player's graveyard, move on. Now, 1 heroic intervention here, but that's not the only way we have to save our elves. So first off, we do have Azuri in the deck. So if they do go to wipe our board and we have some additional mana, we can start regenerating elves that way. This will make them indestructible, and they are going to gain hexproof. This card does work really, really well. I'm running 1 copy of it, and then I'm running 1 copy of Golgari Charm. Now, Golgari Charm is for the exact same reason, for the most part, as Heroic Intervention. You get to choose one of the following 3 options. You can give all creatures neg1 until end of turn. So if your opponent made a ton of tokens or something like that, you know, you can just, you know, give them all neg1. You can destroy target enchantment, which, you know, Blood Moon's kind of, you know, it's a thing, right? You know, you can get rid of Blood Moons and things of that nature. Or you can regenerate each creature you control. So if the opponent goes to wipe the board, you can still save all of your creatures from, you know, destruction the same way you can with Heroic Intervention. So in a way, we've got multiple copies of Heroic Intervention here. I'm just choosing to use Golgari Charm and 1 Heroic Intervention just to give me a couple more options, because Modern is a very vast format, and I wanted to give myself as many options as possible. Now, I am sticking with double Abrupt Decay and double Dampening Sphere. In my testing over the past couple days, I have run into Storm a few times, so it makes it feel that I just can't let go of the Dampening Sphere. Tron is still a thing. Storm is still a thing, so Dampening Sphere works really good there. It also works really, really well against the KCI deck, which is trying to cast multiple things per turn, and you can really start to eat into their mana with it. And, you know, Abrupt Decay works against quite a few different things, so if we need to destroy things with Abrupt Decay, we can. Now, Dismember, absolutely terrific. You need to be able to kill, you know, Tassigers, things like that. You know, anything with 5 power or less, you're going to be able to deal with it. And then I do have another copy of Reclamation Sage here, because Reclamation Sage is just absolutely terrific. Like, this is where I want to be for my, you know, artifact and enchantment destruction. You can Coco into this. Works really well for that. And then 1 copy of Maelstrom Pulse. Now, Maelstrom Pulse, 1 green, 1 black, 1 colorless, will allow us to destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. So we've just got a bunch of silver bullets, or a bunch of, you know, versatile cards. Maybe not silver bullets, maybe a bunch of really versatile cards in our sideboard, so that, you know, we can try to make a configuration against pretty much anything we run up against. And then, of course, I went with Garruk Wildspeaker, and I had Garruk pulled up here in the background because the other option is if you wanted to go with a Garruk Relentless, I wouldn't get mad at you for that. If you can flip it and, you know, you get that -1 on the back side of Garruk, you're going to be able to sacrifice a creature and go get any creature you want, put it into your hand, maybe go get that Reclamation Sage or that Draga Warcaller or something, dump all this mana into it, and then kind of go from there. So, but I went with Garruk Wildspeaker because his -1 is going to create these beast tokens for us, which are pretty mean. They are 3/3s, so they're going to be up there. Untapping some lands works really well as well. And then, of course, if you do get his ultimate off, which isn't that hard, creatures you control are going to get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. This is just another Izuri type effect. And then, of course, you guys can probably see my last card here in the sideboard. I've got 2 copies of Thragtusk, Old Thraggles. He is here. If you wanted to run the Changeling, the Changemillion, I can't even say it, but it is an elf. And it's a merfolk, and it's all creature types at the same time. So if you wanted to run that, you could, but I just wanted another hardy creature in the deck that had some versatility to it, and Thragtusk does have that versatility. He enters the battlefield, we're going to gain 5 life. He leaves the battlefield, we're going to get a 3/3 beast token. So, you know, Thragtusk works really, really well here. And that's the deck. This is how I choose to run elves. And I'm going to jump into a league here, and we're going to see how well this works. Well, like, just, you know, praying for the best here. All right. So, well, remember when you cut the lands down in your deck that the more you mulligan, the less likely you are to see a land. So, you know, if you have a deck that doesn't have many lands in it and you're having to mulligan a lot, you should prioritize the hands that have a few lands in them over a lot of other things, because you know every time that you look at less cards, you're less likely to see lands. So think about that if you have anything less than 24 lands in your deck. All right, so we got a land, we got a Mystic, we can turn to Archdruid. We got a bunch of stuff like that we would want to go into. This is not like the best hand in the world, but it's not horrible either. So, and we are on the play. So, let's see what happens. Get some Nexus, the anti-fun. That could be true. So, we'll play Elvish Mystic and pass the turn. Oh, Arbor Elf. So, this could be a number of things. No land. We'll just play the Nettle Sentinel here. Swing. You want to block it? Didn't think so. Alright, so, I mean, I'm guessing this is like a Utopia Sprawl deck, something like that. Most of the time you see Arbor Elf in those type of decks, so... Hey, look at that. Who says I don't know Modern? And the color he chose was red, so the Abrade's gonna hurt us here. Alright, opponent. Cavernous Souls. This deck, as far as I know, runs main board. We're gonna cast Nettle Sentinel, or cast Driven on Nettle Sentinel here and swing. So we're gonna give it Driven to Despair. If he wants to sack this, go get a card to cast his Lightning Bolt, he can. So Driven to Despair. We'll punch him. We'll draw a card. We did get a land. That's gonna be really, really handy for next turn. Depending on how our opponent's hand goes, we may end up destroying this Utopia Sprawl because it is giving him a ton of mana. Glorybringer. Well, that's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing. You're playing 24 lands, 4 land worth, Gift of Paradise. Just making jokes. Oh, okay. Well, Glorybringer is going to be a bit of a problem here. We do need to find a way to deal with that. So we can go land Rexage, and we're gonna destroy the Utopia Sprawl here. It does seem to be his only source of red mana, so if he's got another, like a Bloodbraid Elf or something like that, then it's going to be hard for him to cast. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting Glorybringer. Well, okay, so he's got another Sprawl, but he doesn't have other cards in his deck. Ooh, look at him. Getting in there. So we can go Lano, swing 2. I mean, the Glorybringer alone may be enough to beat us, but we're going to see what happens here. Oh my goodness, Inferno Titan. Alright, boys. I'm just going to wrap it up. That's pretty good. Glorybringer, Inferno Titan, it's pretty good. How many Glorybringers could he be running? So we could Maelstrom Pulse something. We do need to be as fast as possible. He is kind of a, you know, a fair deck. So playing Wild Speaker wouldn't be horrible. I think we can come off of Nettle Sentinel, and I want these 3 cards in the deck. Yeah, I think these are the 3 cards that I want to bring in. I also want my other Rexage, and I'm going to remove a Shaman of the pack because I'm worried about the Blood Moons. Like, I'm just fairly certain that this deck has Blood Moon, so we got a bunch of lands, which is okay. This would be a very slow hand, but the Collected Company alone may be enough to really get us to where we want to be. I do think this hand's probably too slow, though. I mean, we can thin the deck with the Verdant Catacombs. I'll keep. We're gonna try this. Yeah, I don't think that we can beat him with the 2 Dismembers. I didn't like the hand either. I'm just going to grab the Overgrown Tombs here. And if we don't draw a 2-mana creature on the next turn, it maybe it's wrong of me to not try to hit him for 2-on-2. But I am just going to go ahead and we're going to play it out like this. I'll go ahead and have my Ornreath of Vastwood down. And I'm just going to play it out like this so that I don't take as much damage. So now we're just going to try to Archdruid here. Sure, untap an untapped creature. and then we'll start swinging. I don't think that we can beat Inferno Titan, and I think that's what most of this deck is trying to do, is Inferno Titan. So I don't 100% believe that that's where I want to be. I'm going to just play Forest here, and this may sound a little silly, a little bit off the beaten path, but I'm going to Elvish Archdruid to cast a green spell here. Elvish Archdruid will enter the battlefield. We will put a +1/1 counter on this Elvish Archdruid, buying ourselves a little bit of leniency, and then I'm going to swing. I expect that he really needs this bird, so he's going to take the damage here, and then we might just have him, right? We were kind of mana screwed in game 1. He got mana screwed in game 2. I chose to just put as much pressure as I could. So that's kind of the route I took there. He didn't have a lot of red mana, so I just wanted to continue pushing pressure. Again, like, you're not killing a 6/6 with Dismember, so I'm more worried about that than I am Glorybringer. Glorybringer is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing that will kill us, but if we can control his mana or control his I expect him to have like the sphere that makes, anything that costs less than 3 costs 3. I expect him to have that. I expect him to have Blood Moon, and I'm more worried about those cards. So I'm more worried about the things that he may be bringing in against us than I am worried about what we actually seen in his main deck. So that's where I'm coming from on that. You guys may or may not agree with me on it, but that's why I didn't bring in Dismember. I'm not sideboarding versus what I seen in the first game. I'm sideboarding versus what I believe the opponent will try to do to disrupt us. Now, we don't have land, so we can't keep that. Okay, well, this is probably the worst hand in the world. So I'll put that on the bottom. All the Cocos in the world. Utopia Sprawl, Arbor Elf. Okay. Was Sprawl 2? Sprawl cost 2? Whew. This is going to be rough. Yeah, this is match 1. We're in game 3, so we got a game here. We'll see what happens with it, but we do have a game. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, this is what happens sometimes when you run those 19 land decks. This is going to happen. Yeah, draw land back to back. Back to back would be absolutely terrific. Tireless Tracker. There's one. We just need one more. One more and we can actually cast some spells in our hand. This was a horrible hand. It was almost better to just go to 4. Yeah, I truly believe it would have almost been better to go to 4. Madcap Experiment. The top card was Platinum Imperium. The top card was Platinum Imperium. I'm just going to play Reclamation Sage. And we'll destroy the clue. No? You guys don't like destroying the clue? Okay. Alright, we'll destroy the Platinum Imperium. Wow. Wow, opponent. Just flat out. Wow. Them's the breaks? I don't think so. That's not the breaks. No, this is the breaks. Fiery Justice deals 5 damage divided as you choose amongst any number of targets. Target opponent gains 5 life. So 1 to me, 4 to me. I actually gain 1 out of that. But we're going to take a little beating from Bloodbraid here. There's an Azuri. I think I have to start playing Archdruids out just because I want to be able to cast a Coco. I think Coco is one of the only ways we're going to be able to come back from this. We're looking at so much damage here, and if he's got lightning bolts, Chandras, things of that nature, this is about to get real bad real quick. Yeah, that's going to be it for us. We have to hit land off the top. And then we have to stop all damage. Can't do that. This is going to be an Inferno Titan. Yep. And that's game. Inferno Titan wins, boys. Yeah, it was a really bad draw on land there. So we are 0-1 right now in the league. Hopefully we'll do a little bit better here. Again, you know, Dismember. I don't think that you're going to stop Inferno Titan with Dismember. Yeah, we would have been able to kill a Bloodbraid Elf or maybe even the Tireless Tracker. But then again, we could do that with Abrupt Decay as far as the Tireless Tracker goes. So. Alright, let's go. Bronzodon and Angel. After rotation, mana gets better for green-white. Okay, we've got a start here. See, I like the Elvish Visionary because it gives you an extra chance at drawing a land, stuff like that. I am going to turn one the Heritage Druid. We're probably just going to turn to an Elvish Visionary and maybe smash with Druid. I'll keep though. Alright, so what do we draw? Another Azuri. Another Azuri. So we'll just play the Heritage Druid here. And if he wants to sack, Lightning Bolt, something like that, that's fine. So it's blue-white. Alright. Well, then this may be a really good card for us. You can never tell exactly what colors they are until after they sack the lands. So yeah, blue-white. Core Spirit Dancer gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. Oh, it's blue-white Boggles. I will get an Overgrown Tomb here. We will pay the 2. And we'll, yeah, okay. So we're looking at some Archdruid stuff coming up. Next turn we can play Llanowar Elves, tap for Llanowar and Collected Company next turn if we want to. Curious Obsession. Yeah, this is going to hurt a little bit. We will have to be very fast against this deck. Daybreak Cornet. Oh my goodness. He's got all the things. 8/10 Vigilance, Lifelink, First Striker. It's gonna be brutal. We're just gonna take it. Dwynen's Elite. Alright, so what is our best chance here? So we can go Llanowar Elf, tap Llanowar and the 3 to maybe hit a Rex Age. We could play Dwynen's Elite, tap Dwynen's Elite and his little buddy, and the Heritage Druid for 3. And then we only have 3. I think I want a Collected Company here. So I'm going to go with a Llanowar Elf. We're going to pass turn. And we've got 4 mana held up. So before blocks is when I'm going to go for this Collected Company. Hopefully we don't run into something like Stubborn Denial. A lot of times these the blue-white versions and stuff like that, they're going to be running Stubborn Denial. And yeah, so we're going to go for it. I may even put the Visionary in front of it. Well, does it have flying? No, it doesn't have flying. Now it has flying. Now it has flying. Wow. Just the greatest things in the world right here. Wow. I mean, Boggles just... This is great, Boggles. Great. So now even if we hit the Reclamation Sage, we have to kill the Griff Spoon just to be able to block. Stubborn Denial. Alright. Okay. I mean, we had to play to it. If he had it, he had it. Otherwise, you know... Okay. So I definitely want another Reclamation Sage. Abrupt Decay. Dismember. Maelstrom Pulse. So I'm actually going to back off of Warcaller, my Sentinels, and Driven to Despair. Yeah, we'll roll like that. Maybe one less Shaman of the Pack, one more. And we'll keep the Draugr Warcaller. Golgari Charm. Oh, that does destroy target enchantment, doesn't it? It does. You're right. You are right. Golgari Charm destroys target enchantment. I was thinking the neg one might be useful, but yeah, you're right. You're 100%. Yeah, go Golgari Charm. Again, Golgari Charm in this particular matchup would beat Heroic Intervention. So there's that. I don't want to cut my Lead the Stampedes, as I believe that that's probably one of the better cards in the deck, along with Collected Company. Just refilling our hand. Anything, you know, if we get 2 or more cards out of it, then we've gained some value there. So, yeah, I mean, Boggles, blue-white Boggles. I played the blue-white Boggles deck a long time ago on stream, and it was great. It was great. So. I see the land base. What? GG Boggles. Yeah, a bunch of fetch lands, searching up shock lands. That was the mana base of Boggles there. West Coast green-white list with Sovereign or Sky Sovereign Flagship, Walking Ballista, and a Johnny. You was playing it on Arena for a while, and it was strong. I have not. I have not seen it. Edict would be nice. Yeah, Edict. Edict normally is fairly nice. So we'll see what happens here. Solarina. Well, don't we lose Gift of Paradise? Or did it get reprinted? Well, we've got mana. This is much better than most of the hands we've had lately. So, I'm going to keep it. I would like to have some removal, but I also want to just kind of go off. Jim went 4-1. Highlight that deck. Printed. Oh, it did get reprinted. All right. That's epic. That's a good card to keep around. I mean, it's not like broken, but it's still just a good card. So I like the fact that they kept that around. And we'll just drop a Mystic here. Could be Llanowar Elf. You pick. Mystic's foil though, right? So play the foily. We're gonna say yes. And I'm going to play Llanowar Elf. I'm going to play Heritage Druid. And I really didn't want the Heritage Druid to be countered. I don't think that he would crack a Stubborn Denial here, but he might. Undo that. The Heritage Druid. Tap these three. We'll play Elvish Archdruid. And at least now on turn 2, we've got a decent board going. So we'll see what happens. More land. I'll say yes. We'll move to combat. And I'm actually going to go for the Coco right now. Maybe I did not play around Stubborn Denial enough here. Oh, we get a Shaman of the pack. Not the greatest Coco in the world. But it's not a bad turn 3 hit. We're going to go ahead and go to game 3, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay. So, on the draw, do we want to do things differently? Maybe. We are down to 29 creatures here. I don't really like that. So, Thragtusk may be worth it, but I think our current setup's probably okay. Going down to 29 creatures makes me want to cut a collected company, and so since we're on the draw, I am going to cut a collected company. You had a card for your Vamp deck. You guys are talking about a lot of standard. Alright, so, I mean, we've got turn 1 Elves, turn 2 Dwynen's Elite if we want it. This is not bad. I'll keep, and we're on the draw, so... Oh my goodness. Mulligan to 4. Welcome to my world, opponent. Yeah. We were clearly a much better Magic player here by keeping 7, right? Well, the Maelstrom Pulse 100% makes me want to go get an Overgrown Tomb, so looks like we're going to take a little bit of damage. And if he's got the right 4, he could still beat us here. Yes, you typed that just as I got through saying he could still beat us here. Elves can too in a perfect world, so. Oh no! All right, so I could play the Dwynen's Elite if I want, but I want more mana. So I'm going to punch him. Hexproof unblockable. They won't print a different card like this. They may reprint this one day, but yeah. Hyena Umbra. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Cavern. That's also pretty good. Okay, so how do we do this here? Coco? I don't think so. Maybe? Maybe Coco? It also may just be Archdruid here. To give us just a ton of mana for next turn, because next turn we'll be able to go Dwynen's Elite, tap Archdruid for 5, and then from there we can, you know, play like a Zuri or Coco or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go for the Archdruid. I don't expect him to have a ton of removal, and we can still punch in for 2 this turn. I mean, it's not the greatest race in the world, but you know, we definitely want to keep the pressure up. If this is a Daybreak Cornet, then this could get bad. Because that's lifelink, guys. Like we're definitely going to have to hit him really, really hard. So we're going to go Dwynen's Elite. Then we're going to go... Like, I can take one more hit off of this, I think. Archdruid. I'm gonna just main phase this Galactic Company. So that I... Visionary. Well, that was a bad... This is why I took one out, guys. So we'll go any order there. We'll draw a card. We get a Reclamation Sage. I like the idea of playing this Reclamation Sage on Daybreak Cornet. And then next turn, Azuri, swing for lethal. Invisible Stalker, okay. Alright. So this will tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nine, we need 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, sorry guys, doing math. Like, I don't think we have to do all these other crazy things. I think I can just get away with this. Get some! What? Yeah. Alright. Bye-bye Boggles. Reclamation Sage was a champion. Champion. Just play Azuri. I was doing math. There was probably some way we could have got an extra pump in there. But, you know, double pumps versus just swing with the board. I mean, whatever. Azuri is no joke, guys. Azuri is no joke. All right. We are 1-1. Here we go. But why did I destroy Cornet? Because Cornet gives lifelink. It ain't no pun if you just win. Right? You're right. You're right. I was just looking for an optimal play there, and then like the math said just play Azuri and crush him. But I was looking for an optimal play. You guys got me. This might actually be the best Driven to Despair hand I've seen so far with the Dwynen's Elite. I am going to keep. And we're going to go Forest, Llanowar Elves. Never mind. He can do whatever he wants. But we lose Archdruid. I don't know, we may lose Llanowar, but probably going to lose the Archdruid. Lost Llanowar Elf. Okay. Holy Daba! So, Thoughtseize is going to rip our hand apart here. I mean, it's +3/+3 in lifelink. You know, when you're just good at Magic, guys, I don't know what to say. You know, right? Like, jeez. You just top deck like that? Wow. Doesn't give anything if there's no other enchantment. Okay. I'll have to look up Daybreak Cornet. I thought that you couldn't cast it if there wasn't another enchantment, but I probably wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Yeah, we're gonna play the Archdruid. And this way, next turn we can be like Dwynen's Elite, do other crazy stuff. Oh. Or we just collected company, right? Play our land, go Elf. Play Dwynen's Elite. Pass. We can collect a company on his turn. And that's game. He ain't gonna let us do anything else. And that's game. All right. Yeah, I will have to look up Daybreak Cornet. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see enough of this the opponent's deck to really know exactly what we're playing against. I am going to assume that we probably need some answer to like Gurmag Angler or something like that. I'm just going to take out only one of the Driven to Despairs, and I'm going to take out a Shaman of the Pack for the 2 Dismembers. Maelstrom Pulse or Abrupt Decay is probably just like really good answers to just about anything. If he's playing like some kind of fair deck, then Thragtusk is probably going to be good. I assume that we're going to have to come back and do some additional... We could probably drop the Reclamation Sage as well. So we just don't know what the opponent's playing. Maybe a Spell Bomb. Maybe a Spell Bomb. Just yeah. That was the best chance for Driven, but like I said, Driven's kind of a win more. If you're already winning with it, then it's really not going to help you a whole lot. So, you know, that's Driven for you. This is not a horrible hand. I'm going to keep. We do have our Cavern of Souls. We'll see what happens here. Ooh, there's a straight up a forest. I'll just play that. And if he wants to lightning bolt our bird, that's fine. Bolt the bird. Slash the elf. Bolt the bird, push the elf, right? Kennel Fiend. Wow. Ain't gonna lie, guys, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting Kennel Fiend. I'm gonna go Elf here with my Cavern of Souls. So now he's gonna want to like just cast spells, right? It's too early to play Azuri. It's kind of too early to play Shaman of the Pack, but I would play Shaman of the Pack and just jump in front of this Kennel Fiend. Man, we should have just played Oran Wreath of Basswood and pass or something, but I think I just want to make the best of my mana here. Oops. And we'll fire off the Lead the Stampede. And we're going to grab all of these things. That was a pretty good Lead the Stampede, ladies and gentlemen. That was a pretty good Lead the Stampede. So I'm going to get rid of Overgrown Tomb and Shaman of the Pack. I know Shaman of the Pack was probably like the most crazy thing in the world with all of this. We've got more, and I'm not giving up Azuri right now. I get it. Like, Shaman of the Pack would have been broken once we get all these Dwine and Elites down. Another Kennel Fiend. That's not bad for us. Alright. This will be... I think this is the turn that I can play Oran Wreath of Basswood. And then we're going to go... Like, yeah, I should have taken that turn off to just play Oran Wreath of Basswood, but... we're just going to make some really big dudes come next turn, right? I'm actually sequencing this for next turn, not this turn. So this could end up very badly. I'm hoping he'll try to kill Azuri. Like, if he spends his time or his power or, you know, whatever trying to kill Azuri, hopefully he won't go after the Heritage Druid. We're going to make some pretty good side dudes. He dropped a thing in the ice. He's going to take our collected company. That's fine. Teamer Battle Rage. Oh my goodness. Oh well, that's game, boys. We just got Teamer Battle Rage to death. Kennel Fiend. Yeah, -2. Yeah, just killing Azuri right there was too much. So yeah, I definitely made a mistake. I didn't play into that right. I should have Dwine's Lead into Dwine's Lead into Dwine's Elite, and it just kept going. Yeah, that was definitely my mistake there. Wasn't expecting Teamer Battle Rage. I should have been, but I wasn't. That gave the creature double strike, and yeah, that was pretty good. One does not simply leave one blocker against Kennel Fiends. You're right. You are right. All right. So, I mean, it is Kennel Fiends. Abrupt Decay is probably going to be pretty sweet. Yeah, I guess we'll go Abrupt Decay. I'm going to back off the Despair. And we'll back off probably Warcaller here. Yeah, I think we can get away with that. I didn't see anything like Graveyard Matters. Dampening Sphere. I think most of his stuff's going to be cheap. The Dampening Sphere is not going to hurt us, or not going to help us that much. This is a turn 3 hand. It's not that great. This is not that great of a hand. If we draw anything, though, it could be really great. We do need a land. Yeah, This could be bad. I'm going to mulligan this. This is okay. Sure. I wouldn't mind having more of those. So we're just going to play the Elvish Mystic. Hope it doesn't get lightning bolted. If it gets lightning bolted, then we're going to be in some major troubles. Inquisition of Kozilek. It's probably going to take the Azuri. Or he might take one of the cards that we can cast next turn. So maybe even Shaman of the Pack. I don't know. I don't know what he takes here. Azuri's probably the most threatening, but Dwynen's Elite? Okay. So we're just going to look for another land. We got there. And we'll pass. So is this his Kennel Fiend turn? I've seen this name, Holy Diver, before. Metamorphose. So we'll get two mana, and he'll draw a card, and he can cast something else. Thing in the Ice. Alright. That's going to be problematic. So I'm just going to start with my Overgrown Tomb here. Probably should have done that at end of turn, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted. Didn't want to shuffle just yet. So we're going to go with the Elvish Visionary, see what else we draw. We got a Cavern of Souls. We can play that. We'll play the Llanowar Elf. And pass. Maybe I should just play the Llanowar Elf off of Cavern of Souls and then swung for 2, and then like 1 would get through. But we'll wait and try to go for an Azuri punch. Liliana the Last Hope. Okay, so she'll eat something here. Alright, she's going to eat a Mystic. Alright. We hit another land, which starting to look good for Azuri. I do think that I want to go ahead and Shaman of the Pact here. Do we attack Liliana? Sure. So he'll block one of them. 2 will hit Liliana. Mutagenic Growth. Well, ain't that a thing? So we technically hit him for 2 there. And then Liliana is going to eat one of these. Faithless Looting. Okay. He could flip this thing in the ice right now. Threw away land and land. Another Faithless Looting. Thoughtseize, Kozilek, anything flips thing in the ice right here, and we start taking 7. Yep, Thoughtseize. Flip thing in the ice. It's now an Awoken Horror. So he'll be at 10. We'll be at 10. Bye-bye, Azuri. Seems bad, right? It's my only way to kill that thing in the ice. If he doesn't plus it first. Don't do it. He did it. He did it. We save 1 point of life and make him destroy our... Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. Think Kennel Fiend's got us here. Ooh, doesn't care about the dismember. Doesn't care about the dismember. Well, Liliana's going to kind of do her thing anyway. No Teamer Battle Rage. Don't let your last card be a Teamer Battle Rage. Thing in the ice, guys. Whew. What a card. Well, we've got a dead dismember in hand right now. Abrupt Decay did come in. So I mean that like Abrupt Decay came in handy right there. So depending on what he's got, Faithless Looting, Flashback. He threw away Thoughtseize and Bloodstainmire. We've got one more turn here. He does have to minus this, but he's dead. Like, he has to have a way to answer one of these creatures. Plussing Lily will just not be enough. You just hope Izzet can make an Enigma Drake deck work post-rotation. Maybe. What are you digging for, opponents? He got rid of Fatal Push. Wow, he got rid of Fatal Push. Anger? Oh, goodness. Now Lily's going to get there. Not like this! Not like this! So close! Anger of the Gods. Good play, opponent. I should have swung earlier at him, not at Lily. We would have got that extra 2 points of damage in. Didn't really see that until right now. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to wait. That was probably one of the worst Cocos we could have possibly had. We need to lead the Stampede off the top to even stand a chance here. All right. Got taken down by the Teamer Battle Rage. Okay. I mean, we're making it into game threes here, or against some of these, but well, we went to game three every one, but this is being brutal. It's awful brutal. This is Still a bad hand. I don't think we can say no to it, but it's not the greatest hand in the world. I will keep it. I am going to start thinning the deck as quickly as possible. So we're going to go ahead and just sack this for a forest. No point in getting overgrown tombs. The next one, if we want to get overgrown tomb, we can. But I would rather just have a couple forest. Here we go, guys. Your negates will eat my negates. Negating your negates, and Lyra will be answered with ease. Fight with fire still exists, and Shala doesn't scare me either. What? We're against humans. Oh, hey, there you are. We're gonna go ahead and attack, and then we're gonna play the Land of War Elves afterwards. We will untap our Nettle Sentinel. Yep. Humans. He could have called Druid, maybe. I don't know. Unclaimed Territory. That's the card I was thinking about. If you don't have Caverns of Souls, you could run that. But if you're running like Company and stuff, you got to be careful about putting too many of these in the deck. Mantis Rider. Well, ain't that a thing? That'll swing for 4 right here. And it'll block very well, too. Alright, so we can Verdant Catacombs. Let's grab another forest. Elvish Archdruid. And we'll attack for 3. Play Mystic. Untap our Nettle Sentinel. And we kind of need to have an amazing swing here. Humans is a really good deck. Flashes in Shala with Wrath. You guys are talking about all kinds of crazy things. Like y'all are not talking at all about like what we're playing here today. I see just how much y'all care about Modern. Champion of the Parish, Champion of the Parish, Champion of the Parish. Thalia. It's going to make our collected companies cost more. Her first strike is very, very relevant. We'd love to have a Coco. We don't have to. We're just gonna swing for lethal here. So we'll get Thalia and the champion. Okay. Okay. Put our opponent at 3. So we'll see what he has. Trying to think of a way he can deal 10 points of damage here. He might be able to do it, but I don't know. I say no, you guys. No, this is not the same deck as last time. It's close to the same. I've got some different cards in here where there's a bunch of cards we don't have in here. Like most of the lords. I just don't think Elves plays the best with lords. I think that, like, if you want to play like the lord heavy tribal deck, I think you should play Merfolk. And if you want to play like this, tricky aggro combo style deck, then I think you should play Elves. And so I actually built the elf deck more around a toolbox elf plan than a combo. So Phantasmal Image. That's a lot of damage. That's 10 points of damage. Well, aren't you just special? Okay, we're at 4. We'll cast Heritage Druid, untap our Nettle Sentinel. And, I mean, we just lost. Not a lot we can do about it. I mean, yeah, he loses a Manus Rider. But without another Lord, here a Lord would have been great, right? Driven to Despair would have been great. Like, if we would have cast Driven and Despair right there, we would have been doing all right. So, I mean, there was a number of cards we had as outs there for the top deck. Didn't get them. Alright, moving on. So, our answer to humans. Mad Dog Matt. Again, humans is kind of a fair deck. We do want, the bigger bodies. Golgari Charm's nice here. Abrupt Decay and Maelstrom Pulse are both nice. Driven to Despair is nice, and it would have been great in one of those situations, but it's not exactly where I want to be. I didn't see Aether Vials. I don't know if he's running Aether Vials or not. Some people run them, some people don't. So Reclamation Sage, I'm going to take that out. We're going to remove one Shaman of the pack. I almost put Elvish Archer in the sideboard, but I did not. I want to say that maybe Thragtusk is a little... Like, if I don't bring the Thragtusk and Garruk in for the humans matchup, then, like, what do I bring that in for? Which, these 3 cards may not belong in the sideboard at all. Like, I know I want the Abrupt Decays, Maelstrom Pulse, and the Golgari Charm. Not for the enchantment, but maybe destroy some humans, things like that. Heroic Intervention maybe over Thragtusk. Although, we still need to cut 3 cards, so maybe we just don't run this. I want the Dismembers for sure. Cut 1 Lead the Stampede. And I'll cut my Warcaller again. Yeah, I'm cutting most of the pet cards in games 2 and 3, and I think that's like probably how you should run pet cards. Cutting my pet cards. I'm cutting you know, the other pet cards as well. Um, this is not the most horrible thing in the world. Turn 2 Archdruid, turn 3 Collected Company, turn 4 Collected Company, turn 5 Lead the Stampede, and a bunch of other things maybe. Like this could be good if our opponent just doesn't have like one of these god hands that just destroys everything. I took out one Lead the Stampede. Alright, so I am drop this Archdruid. Next turn we can play Nettle Sentinel for free. And then tap the Archdruid. Assuming Archdruid lives. I assume that Archdruid lives here. What hand with humans isn't a god hand? Right. That's okay, so he did have Aether Vials. Alright. Some people can afford them, some people can't. I should have known that with the Caverns of Souls he probably had Aether Vials, so yeah. Yeah, it's one of the best decks in modern format, or in the modern format, but it's also one of the decks in the modern format that is being hated on the most. So I mean, most people carry those Anger of the God, or those. Yeah, we'll play our Nettle Sentinel. I'm going to attack for 2 and company before blocks. And we'll take Heritage Druid, Llanowar Elf. We'll go any order. And I think that we've got one turn here where we can really just tap out. Surgical Extraction and pull 2 out of our hand. Well, aren't you just great? Wow. I mean, he surgicaled my... Yep. I mean, that's... I don't know what else to say to that, but wow. Wow. Just wow. Oh, and we get a single card off of our Lead the Stampede. Yeah. The opponent will not get a surgical that good in a long time. Like we're talking one out of very few games you're gonna surgical something your opponent has 2 more copies in their hand. So yeah, that was a little bit brutal for us. That hurt. That hurt a lot. Like that hurt my soul. That surgical was just so good. Yep. This was a good surgical. Oh, look. A land. Probably should have played that after I swung. Yeah, I just don't care anymore. That surgical broke my soul. I mean, is there anything that says I shouldn't just be swinging for the fences right now? I mean, I know he's going to eat something, probably Heritage Druid. So, yeah, well, I'm just going to swing for the fences. Like, he's just going to be swinging over the top anyway, so the more damage that we can get in, the better off we are. That's... yeah, soul extraction right there. I mean, he hit 3 Cocos. Like, we had a good hand. It was about to get real. And then it's my fault for swinging with this daggum thing. Because I would have at least been able to play another play another Coco. Not playing around surgical extraction. That was... Reflector Mage. Cool. Yeah, well... At least I'm being beat by the opponent's card. Yeah, I mean, being beat by my opponent's cards and not my own cards is pretty decent, at least. I mean, at least I can't be mad at my deck. It's like, okay, well, 'tis what it is. So, here we go. Dwynen's Elite. Untap. Oh, what are you bringing in? Meddling Mage calling Elvish Archdruid. How much you want to bet? Elvish Archdruid. Say it. Just say it. It's Elvish Arch... yeah, there you go. Yeah. Get out of here. Whatever, opponent. Whatever. We're gonna play this last one. I normally would scoop right now, but I'm gonna play the last one. This hand's not bad. This hand's actually not bad at all. We've already in Catacombs into Elvish Mystic. We take 3 mana right off the bat. We Elvish Mystic. Next turn we can go Heritage Druid. Llanowar Elves. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to keep. You really feel like Clan Collar is absolutely necessary in Elves? I do not. I don't. Just being able to grab those lords whenever you want is great. That's what Coco's for. Well, then you lose your Elvish. You lose your Elvish Visionaries. It's basically, do you want to run Elvish Visionary or Clan Collar, or Elvish Visionary, or sorry, Clan Collar or Uzuri? I mean, I think that you can't give up on Uzuri, so you don't have that many cards left. So, I don't know. I don't like Clan Collar. I don't like the idea of I got to pay 6 mana for a single Lord when I can pay 5 mana on an Uzuri for +3/+3. I would rather play Elves more combo-esque than playing them any other way. This is gonna hurt because I really want this. I really want this Overgrown Tomb because I want to be able to play the Shaman of the Pack. But we're playing against Burn, so I just helped him, which that's bad. It's real bad. Now that we're playing creatures out, he's going to be able to do things like Searing Blaze, burn us from that, smack us in the face with, Monastery Swift Spear, stuff of that nature. So, yeah. Here we go. Maybe Elves is just not that great in Modern? I don't know. I just don't like the Clan Collars. I mean, you can run a version with Clan Collars, and you're just going to play more like Merfolk. And that's probably not a bad deck, run all the different lords and things. I personally just don't like playing elves like that. I would rather play elves as more of a toolbox deck, stuff like that. Hey, look, Searing Blaze. Like, I really hate it when the opponent plays exactly what I say. Okay, so that's not true. All right, like Jack, you're blowing it way out of proportion. The chances to even have enough mana to activate Clan Caller normally doesn't come till like turn 3, and you're not Clan Caller and Clan Caller, Clan Caller, Clan Caller. Because Clan Caller is going to enter the battlefield, is going to have Summoning Sickness. You got to wait till yet another turn to get another Clan Caller. When if you would just run Court of Calling, you go pop Azuri, activate Azuri, and swing for lethal, right? Like, this should be Court of Calling, and we should just be able to go get Azuri on command, right? Like, but you don't have that much mana on turn 2, so. I mean, you're definitely blowing it out of proportion and making it seem like they can do things they can't, but no, they can't. How powerful a Lord-based beatdown does, well, then go play Merfolk. Like if you want Lord-based beatdown, go play Merfolk. I like that Elves has the chance. I like that Elves has the chance to do the Merfolk play. And with the new Clan Caller, it does play like Merfolk. You can even give Forest Walk instead of Island Walk. You can go that route. So if you guys want to do that, then absolutely. That's not how I want to play Elves. I think Elves should be played more of a combo style. And I did not bring you a Lord-based Elf deck. If you want Lords, go play Merfolk. Like, they're better. I mean, they're better at it than Elves are. Elves are better at this. And if you're playing Modern, I just don't think that, like, I don't think that you have the opportunity to play that many fun cards or that many, hey, this might work, when if you want to play a Lord-based tribal, go play Merfolk. Straight up. Like you said it yourself. Just look at Merfolk, right? That's because they're really good at it. So you want to make another deck try to be like that? No, just go play Merfolk. And if you want to play Elves, play what Elves are good at. Making mana, using that mana to pump the team, swing in. Like you're saying it yourself, guys. I'm done. A lot of fun. You've been watching Sideboard MTG.